Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got something new for you here today from the folks over at Licitti. We did a review on their 1000 watt inverter battery box. So stay tuned, we're going to show you a newer and improved one. Okay guys, here's what it looks like. This is the Licitti new gen battery box. And it has one outlet there, but it is a 2000 watt inverter. You got an AC power switch, you got your standard 12 volt 10 amp cigarette lighter port, and then you got a USB power delivery with a quick charge 3.0, and the power delivery on that I believe is 45 watts. And one of the upgrades to this is this yellow Anderson down here is a 20 amp solar input MPPT charge controller, and then you can also input 50 amps in or out on this top one. And what is Licitti, these battery boxes good for? You can build your own battery. You can put a pre-made battery in. You can use lead acid, LiPo4, lithium ion. You can build your own battery pack. Now, what I'm going to do is I have a 100 amp hour LiPo4 battery that I'm going to put in and show you how to do that. But I would recommend maybe building your own. Licitti has kits to where you can build up to, I think, 280 amp hours. And to maximize that 2000 watt inverter, I think you need to do more than a 100 amp hour battery, just for the fact that it's 12 volts at 100 amp hours. So you're going to pull 100 amps, and you won't get the full 2000 watts out of it, because you'll probably overload your battery before you get to 2000 watts at 12 volts at 100 amp hours. Now, if you had a 24 volt 100 amp hour battery, you might be okay, but again, you can either step up in voltage or build your own battery so you can maximize that full 2000 watts. So I won't be able to maximize the full 2000 watts, but maybe down the road I'm going to put some pre-made batteries in. Like I say, I'll put a link in the description for Licitti, and they have a kit to where you can basically, it has all the bus bars and everything, and it fits nicely in this battery box. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to hook the battery up, at least what I have. It's the simple way to do it, and we'll go from there. Okay, here's the back of the box, and it has 4 screws, as you can see in these holes, and it does come with an Allen head, but if you have a screwdriver with an Allen head or even a Torx bit, works fine on these. So you just take this back off, and let me do that, and then I'll show you what we got. Okay, we got the back off, and here's what the back looks like. It's got a little metal plate in there. It's got some vent holes for venting and circulation. So we're just going to set that aside right now. And you can see this does have a shunt. So when we turn it on, you are going to be able to see actual voltage usage, amp usage, watt usage, and things like that. So it will be a very reliable screen. And then you got your negative and positive cables, and it comes with this little tray right here. Now I'm just going to put this 100 amp hour Go KWH battery. I reviewed this battery in another video. I'll put the link to that in the description as well. But that's all you do. It's got these Velcros. You set your battery in. Now if you build your own battery, you can strap it in the same way. The only thing I did notice with this particular one is this strap going this way. To get the back to close, it has to be a little loose, because it's going to push in on that, if you can see that. Okay, so this will crank this one down tight, leave this one a little loose, because when you put it in, this will get pushed in. Okay. All right, so let me line the battery up and get it put in, and I'll show you how we connect it. Okay guys, just very simple. Black to black, red to red, and it's that simple to hook this battery up into this battery box. So we're going to snug this down, and I'll show you how I push it in, because you have two holes here for two screws that fasten this plate down on the inside. So we will snug these up, cover them up with the little boots. This comes with the battery box, these little boots, so you don't have to add those, and that just keeps it from hitting anything on the inside. Okay, hope I don't blind you here with this light, but I just wanted to show you. Those are the two holes. We get them lined up, and we're going to put these little screws in to secure that. You might not have it completely lined up, and that's what I was talking about. This, see how this is tight now, because then that other end, that gets kind of tight. So let me fiddle with these screws to get them in. I want you to sit here and watch me with the shaky camera. I'll get them started, and then we'll come back to you. Alright, we got those screws in. So this thing is tight now, and this tray will not move. So then all you do is take and put this back on, screw it on with those four holes. There's four screws through those four holes, and then you're ready to go. So let me go ahead and fasten it up, and we'll turn this thing back around and turn it on. Alright, we got it fastened up. Now we're going to take and turn our switch to the on position, and there you go, reading out. You see our display, 99 amp hours, 99% remaining. We are pulling a little bit of amperage just for the screen itself. We have our USB-C here. Turn that off. So what we'll do is get a couple things and plug into this DC. We'll check it out first and go from there. Alright, got it turned back on now, and we are charging. You can see 17 watts, and we also have a Go Labs here. We're going to plug it into our cigarette lighter port, and you can see immediately starts charging. 37 watts. So we're pulling 55 watts from these three ports. Alright, 52, 54. So the DC, no problem. If you want to charge phones, Bluetooth speakers, you want to transfer some power to a smaller power station, you can do that. You can run a refrigerator from this 12 volt port, and you're good to go. So camping, whatever, emergency power, you know, you've got some DC ports there to get you going. So I mean, that's about as simple as it gets on the DC side. The screen does time out. You can go into settings and mess with that and change it, but right now, like I say, we're pulling 53 watts. Tells you how many amps and the volts of the battery and how much time you have remaining. So it's a very intuitive and informative screen. All right. Okay, we got our AC on. See with the blue light there, we're pulling 4.51 amps, and I did pull the app up for the Go kilowatt battery, and it says it's pulling 4.5, and that's bouncing around, so it's pretty close. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. We're going to run our AC here. Okay, operator error here. You got to touch this thing in the right spot. So we're going to hit our toast. Went down. You can immediately see we are pulling 76 amps off this battery. This battery is only rated to discharge at 100. Now I'm going to do it very quickly. Show you. There we went over, we're over 100 amps. So before that battery kicks off, I'm going to shut it back off. So we were pulling well over 130 some amps, and that battery's BMS was going to shut it off because you can only discharge this kWh at 100 amps. So that's what I'm talking about. When you're looking at a 12 volt system, you need to probably at least have 200 amp hours where you can discharge at 200 amps. And that's why maybe building your own battery might be the way to go with this battery box, so you can totally utilize the full 2000 watts out of this AC output. So that's kind of pretty much the whole battery box in a nutshell. This is, you know, just like the other one. It's a little, it's metal casing. It has plastic end pieces. Has a nice carrying handle underneath here, and we'll show you charging it with this 20 amp built-in MPPT charge controller. So there you have it. This thing is, you know, handling this no problem at the 75 amps, and it's not the inverter, just so you know, it's the battery. You need to have either more volts to utilize the 2000 watt inverter, or you need to have more amp hours so you can discharge at a higher rate, if that makes sense. Okay, all right, we will go to solar charging, and that'll probably wrap this video up after we do our solar. Okay, one of the other things I did want to show you too before we get into solar charging is this does have app control. Well, I'm not going to say app control, but you can see the state of your battery from the battery monitor. So the battery monitor has app control. I have not synced this. I think you can go into settings here and synchronize, and it just did that. Still, you know, I think need to go ahead and set that up completely, but anyway, you do have app control. So I do see the app is a little different from the battery monitor, and that's probably more my fault than it is the monitor. So, but I did want to point that out. It's not, you know, you don't have really any control. Basically, it's just giving you voltage, current, power, time remaining. So it's a nice little app. Okay guys, here is where you hook your 20 amp solar input into it. I have it hooked up to the 400 watts of solar. I'm going to flick that on. Now just so you know, this MPPT charge controller can handle up to 50 volts. As you can see here, we're going at around 43, and you can see our watts going up. And then over here you can see we are now charging at 281, 152. So sun's moving around, obviously clouds actually moving around, so we're up to about 230 some watts, showing 258 here, so pretty close. Pulling 7.62 amps. This is a 20 amp charge controller, so we're getting plenty of solar in, and that's as simple as it gets. You can use portable panels. This is just 400 watts of solar I have on the roof, and it as simple as that, plug and play. Now if you wanted to add an external charge controller, you could actually do it right through this 50 amp port, so you could charge, you know, with higher watts if you want. But this 20 amp, you know, especially you got a 100 amp hour battery in there, that's going to charge it up nicely for camping or what have you. So there you go. Alright guys, I want to show you actually what you get with it. Showed you the rubber boots that were on the cables, so those come in this package. You just add them onto the cables. This yellow one here is a Anderson to MC4, so this is what you use for your MPPT charge controller. You get two bolts for a battery. Mine had one, so I didn't use them. You also get a little Allen key, and then you get these battery cable terminals, and that goes to this gray Anderson right there. And then you get the user's manual, the new gen battery box. This will give you most of the information. It's laid out pretty good. A couple things I will point out. I mean, here's some specifications right there. And this kind of gives you how to, what I was doing basically, taking the back off, a tray that slides out, you know, putting your battery in and strapping it down and putting it all back together. One of the main things here too with the plug and play design, you got your 50 amp AC/DC input output, and then your 20 amp solar input, and that's where it tells you right there that it's a max of 50 volts. So there you go. And then your AC max output's 2500 watts at 230 volts, 2000 at 110. And again, this is the app that I was telling you about. You just use the codes there with your phone, and it'll take you right to it. You can download the app. That's what it looks like. And then there's the instructions that come with it. I didn't really go through all that with you, but I mean, it's pretty basic and self-explanatory. It's not a very complicated app. Didn't want to bore you with that, but that's basically how everything that comes with it. Alright guys, let's wrap this video up. Kind of short and sweet, but there's not a whole lot to this. It's plug and play. I like the battery box. The only thing I wish I was able to show you the full 2000 watts on this inverter. But again, that goes to the battery that you put into it. If you have a battery that only lets you discharge at 100 amps, then you're not going to be able to access this full 2000 watt inverter. So maybe, you know, with the tray in there, and like I say, Licitti's website, they have set up where you can build lithium iron phosphate cell up to 200, I think it's 280 amp hours, but I'll put a link down in the description below to show you that. But this is a nice unit, and it's a lot heavier duty than the first one. I love the screen that it comes with. That's a lot more informative than the other one was, and you have all the information that you're going to need to see right there on that screen. Love that you can add a bigger charge controller if you want to, but I'm finding out I really like that 20 amp. It's way better than the 10 amp on the other one. And again, there's nothing wrong with the other one. I like it and use it every day too, but this is just for somebody who maybe wants a little bit more power to run some bigger items. You can get up to 2000 watts through the AC. Just remember to pair an appropriate size battery, you know, that can handle the withdrawal rate for your battery. So just to let me know if you have any questions or comments, what you think about this one compared to the other one. Let me get the price on this one and I'll get right back. Okay, I know this isn't ideal, but this is the website for Licitti. There's the battery box, and you can get it with a charger. Without a charger, it's $438. With the charger, it's $488. While I'm in here, I'll just show you. I don't know how this is going to come across on video, but you can get these all-in-one cells with a BMS for this. And you can get it for $508 if you buy the cells, but I just noticed they have an option here. So you can get a 2,000 watt inverter for $946. This includes the box and the battery cells. It's 280 amp hours. And that is amazing. So you're going to get, geez, over 3,000 watt hours of usage out of that. Not doing the math here, but I'm assuming it's 12.8 times 280. There you go. You got 3,584 watt hours for under $1,000. That is a great deal. Compared to some power stations, you're not going to get 3,000 watts, 3,500 watt hours for under $1,000, and you're getting a quality item. So if I was doing this, I would, they sent this to me. I didn't purchase this, but I would buy it with the battery for under $1,000. That's amazing for 3,500 watt hours, and then you have your 280 amp hours. You're not going to have any problem maxing out this 2,000 watt inverter. So there you go. Maybe I'll ask Licitti to send me the batteries and I'll show you how it works with the batteries, but we'll see if they'll do that or not. But I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching my videos. So we're going to cut it short right here. Have a blessed day, and we'll see you in the next video.